I'm looking to buy a home. How much do I really need to save? This is a question that comes up a lot because there's some confusing information that comes out there. There's pieces that say, yes, you need to have 20% for a down payment, and then someone else will say, no, you really only need to have 10. Someone else will say your credit report matters, and then someone else is going to say your debt to income ratio matters. The fact is, all of them matter, and it's something that you'll want to keep in mind. So the general rule of thumb is that you want to have 20% for a down payment. And where this comes from is it's the idea that you don't have to pay PMI insurance. If you don't have 20%, then what's going to happen is you're going to have to pay an extra payment each month until you can get to that 20% number. That's where the PMI comes in. Now, most of the time, if you're somewhere between 10, 15, up to that 20, you'll be able to still get into a home, but with that extra payment. Lots of times that extra payment, especially in today's high interest rates, can make it cost unaffordable for you to do. So getting to that 20% is a really good idea. The second piece of that, as I said before, is your credit score. We've talked in the past about how important your credit report is. When you're looking at mortgages, you really want to be above that 720 area. The higher you can get, the more likely you are to get those lower interest rates. And interest rates are going to decide how big of a payment you have. The final piece that you need to be looking at is your debt to income ratio. When we look at mortgages, they're going to look and see if you're under 36%. And the reason for this is we need to make sure that you can pay the mortgage. Now, there are ways that you can clean this up, and I would recommend doing that. One of the areas that is going to be looked at is your monthly debt. So if you are a person who pays off your credit card every month, but you run everything through that credit card, that is going to show up as a liability that you have, when in fact you're really paying that with your cash flow. So you want to make sure that you get that paid off, or you minimize using that card for a couple months to get that off. Any other debts that are little debts out there, get those cleaned up as well. All of those monthly payments are going to count towards that debt to income ratio, and you're going to want to make sure that's as low as possible. And that's today's Financial Flash.